Hi, this is Buzz Kanter from American Iron Magazine, AIMAG.com. And I'm down visiting my friend Leo Hulnick down in New Jersey in a secret location where we've got all sorts of very, very cool classic racers, American racers, and Leo is a Harley man. I mentioned Indian to him earlier, he sort of shook his head and smiled. He's a Harley man. So here's Leo Hulnick, and he's going to walk us around a 52?
51.
1951 Daytona WR Racer. Morning,
Hey,
Leo.
Good morning. How are you, Buzz?
Good. You're going to tell us what you're going to tell us now. What are you going to show us?
Well, I'm going to describe the history and the features of the 1951 Harley WRTT bike.
Okay, and a WR is a 45 cubic inch flathead, and it's a factory race bike, right?
Yes, dedicated for racing. TT designation means brakes front and rear.
As opposed to like the dirt racers, the short trackers,
Yes.
and they wouldn't have front brakes.
No, they wouldn't have any brakes. They would be brakeless.
Okay.
You know, rear brakes didn't show up on track machines until 69, I believe.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
let's have a look at your beauty
Sure.
here.
Well, we can start with the wheels. That's what we just spoke about. And this particular bike has 19-inch wheels, front and rear.
And what would typical be on these?
Typical would be 18-inch.
So this has the 19, that'll give it a little bit more ground clearance?
Yes. And also for ground clearance, this is a special narrow clutch, and the primary cover matches the clutch to go inboard. Inch and a half, I'd say, for that same reason, for ground clearance.
So you could lean it over farther to the left?
Yes.
Which means it's a road racer because, well, I guess the dirt tracker would go left too.
Well, the dirt trackers
Also.
had it also.
Yeah. So it's a narrow clutch, and
Yes.
is the primary cover different
Yes.
to match the clutch?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And also, being that this is a road racer, the transmission is a close ratio transmission.
And is it a 3-speed?
3-speed close ratio.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can see back here, but there's a little C stamped in the gearbox right about there.
No, don't know if we
No,
can.
probably not.
But that means it's close ratio. So that means.
That's close ratio.
And the meaning of a close ratio.
Is the gears are not as widely spaced as they would be for a flat track machine.
So you're shifting a little sooner.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. No, actually, you're shifting a little bit further apart.
Close ratio means
Close ratio.
means you can wind it out longer.
Yeah, you wind it out longer in
Okay.
first gear. It's 16 tooth versus 14 tooth on a standard gearbox.
Okay.
Okay.
And the tanks. Tell me about these tanks. These are monster big tanks.
These are 5-gallon tanks for long distance races,
So for like the Daytona.
like Daytona,
Uh-huh.
which also has a 6-quart cast aluminum oil tank.
And what would normal size be? Smaller than that, like a 4-quart?
Would be yes, would be about a quart.
Okay.
In a flat track machine.
Okay.
Now the reason for the 6-quart oil tank would be oil consumption.
On
If-
a
if-
long race.
In a long race, if you were lucky enough to finish the race and still have oil in the tank,
Yeah.
you were doing okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Now this is a rigid. There's no rear suspension.
Correct.
It's a standard looking exhaust. Now tell me about the oil pump setup here and the cam. So we got a
Okay.
little plate here that would be.
Well, that would be for a tachometer drive or a vertical magneto.
Okay.
This particular bike, 1951, they came out in 1950. This is called a peekaboo cam cover, so you can adjust the timing without taking the cover off.
Timing of the magneto.
Timing the magneto, correct.
Okay, so which part is the peekaboo? I've heard the term.
Right here.
Okay, so
This
then,
cover,
and there's a couple of screws that hold that in place, or how
Yes.
does that work? Okay.
and they have a set of what they're called vernier gears,
Okay.
and they are adjustable, infinitely adjustable.
Okay.
And notice also the tappet guides
Uh huh.
are the valves are canted towards the top of the cylinder.
Does that mean the push rods are also
Well, these are
the push rod tubes?
no. Well, they're valve tubes, valve covers, because this is a flathead engine.
Excuse me, I'd say right.
So the valves are canted towards the piston,
Right.
and for better flow.
Right.
So in order to do that, these are very convoluted tappet guides. If you can notice how fat they are here and skinny, they have a very complicated shape to them.
Yes. Which
Now
would make it tough to manufacture, but more efficient as a racer.
Yes. Now with the KR, it's built into the crankcases.
Which is the next generation
Next
after the
generation.
WR.
And
Okay.
they also have the same bore and stroke, a KR and a WR.
Okay. Kicker.
Kicker.
Is that a military kicker? The pedal?
I don't know.
Okay.
You know, generally a racer would drill holes in it
For lightweight.
for lightweight.
And it looks cool.
And it looks cool. There's a 1951 nickel.
There you go. I like that.
Okay.
There. Okay.
Sort of period.
And anything special about the throwout here on the clutch?
Stock.
Okay.
Stock WL.
All right.
All right. Special long exhaust system for
Uh-huh.
road racing.
And what was the reason for that? Was it a mechanical issue or a...
Probably more horsepower for the long.
Okay. And tuned.
in-
And then
tune it.
now for the seats, you've got the standard seat.
Standard.
You've
seat.
got the little pillion in the back to push back, and you
Yes.
have the little chest piece up on the
chin pad.
chin pad up on the
Yes.
gas tank. So would you sit on it for me?
Sure.
Show us how that works. So
As
when
you
you
would
start,
ride. And if you were going down the straightaway, you would lean all
you-
the way back.
push your butt back.
But that's about as far as I can go now.
Okay.
Because I don't bend as I once did.
Okay.
Okay.
And then you have a little windshield on there. So go into a tuck for me. It's amazing what people will do when you aim a camera
Yeah,
at them.
I guess so.
Okay. There you go. Excellent.
Sort of
Now
get
the
under the paint. As
under
they
the
say.
paint.
Under the paint.
now the carburetor is a Linkert,
Linkert Special Racing Carburetor MR3.
and the R is racing.
Yes.
Okay. And because the tanks are wider, do you have to do anything with the shifting linkage, or it doesn't really matter so much?
Yes, it's special also. The shift lever.
Uh huh.
Okay.
So it has to bow a little bit wider around the
To
tanks.
make it around those tanks.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's one back, first speed back, and then forward to second and third.
Yes. This I should point out to you also, because they did not have foot shifts back then. The handbrake is
Right.
on the left side.
Right.
Okay. And this is the kill button. That's
Which
the
is
only.
typical. Which is also on the street bikes. A lot of them
Yes.
have them on the left.
Yes.
That way you could, if you have your throttle on the right side,
Right.
if your foot is on the clutch, then you need to have your left hand
Yeah.
on the brake.
Right. Right.
So-
Exactly.
Okay, and this does have front brakes because it is a road racer, not a dirt racer.
Yes.
And tell me about this little windshield here.
Well, the windshield is a period correct item. It wasn't manufactured by Harley. It was made by Jack Tracy, I believe, from Connecticut.
Okay. Where American Iron Magazine's published.
There you go.
And 82, is there a significance to that?
Yes. Number 82 was used by Joseph Hollebeck when the bike was new in 1951. Mr. Hollebeck has since passed on, but I have contacted his son, and he has sent me some pictures of the motorcycle
And
and
he
some
was-
history.
And he was number 82.
Yes, that's national number 82, which means there is no letter designation,
Right.
which means he scored points in national
Right.
races.
The pro.
Right.
Fabulous bike. Fabulous, fabulous bike. Quick walk around. And there you have it. Buzz Kanter from American Iron Magazine with Leo Hulnick with a 1951 WR Harley Road Racer.